Hello, humans. Welcome back to the study of the Bible in chronological order. It is written in Genesis 8:1, "But God remembered Noah and all the beasts and all the cattle that were with him in the ark." God remembered Noah? Well, it states in Genesis 7:17 that the water increased for 40 days. In Genesis 7:24, it informs us that the flood water remained a total of 150 days. And then after 5 months, God remembered Noah. But wait, how could God remember unless God forgot? Did God forget about Noah? No. Is it even possible for God to forget? God is perfection, and so his memory is perfect. Listen, we often use a similar expression when we remember someone on his or her birthday, right? Even though we had never forgotten that he or she existed. That word simply means to bring to remembrance, to intentionally call to mind. So in other words, God did not forget about Noah and never intended to leave him in the ark forever. When God remembers someone or something, he acts for either judgment, as we will see in Revelation 16:19, or he acts for blessing, like we see in Genesis 30:22 or 1 Samuel 1:19-20. And because this remembrance refers to both good and bad, it should be viewed as a record to be reviewed. Just as human kings examined their written records so as not to forget, we see this is an example in Esther 6:1. The one true King of Kings examines his book as a record of rights and wrongs. We see in Malachi 3:16-18, a book of remembrance contains a list of all who fear the Lord. They're all remembered, which means God never forgets them. Now, in Noah's scenario, it's as if God reviewed his book of remembrance. So, in other words, it's as if Noah was found to be in the book of life, and God remembered Noah for the purpose of blessing him rather than for the purpose of judgment. In fact, Isaiah 49:15 informs us God does not forget his saints. So, the phrase, God remembered Noah, is the same as saying, God did not forget about Noah. However, God had been silent for 5 months while Noah floated in an eerily silent, inundated world where all the voices had been drowned out. Can you imagine that silence? How would you have felt if you were Noah? Would you have felt like God forgot about you? What do you think Noah's prayers sounded like during that period of silence? Well, I imagine his prayer being something like this. Lord, you told me to build this ark. You told me to gather all the animals in here. I did everything you told me to do. But now, where are you? It has been 149 days, and yet you have been silent as I just continue to float above all the destruction below me. I have no idea what's going on. How long must I wait? How long must I float on this sea of death, not knowing where I'm at or what I'm supposed to do? Lord, did you forget about me? However, it is written, God did not forget about Noah. In fact, Noah had always been in God's thoughts, and God was with Noah the entire time. So what about you? Have you ever felt like God has forgotten about you? If you feel like God has forgotten about you, be assured he has not forgotten about you. In fact, there has never been a time when you have not been in God's thoughts. God is with you right now. But God's perfect plan always requires God's perfect timing. Therefore, if you feel like God has been silent in your life, even though you have lived in faithful obedience to God's commands, I exhort you, ride the storm out. Ride out the storm. Continue to live in faithful obedience while your hope floats. In the Lord's perfect timing, He will lead you to where you are supposed to be next. I mean, it is said, God is never late. But really, God is never early either. God is always on time. So if you feel like God abandoned you in the ark, just know God never intended to leave you in the ark forever. God has a plan. So until then, trust in the Lord.